So we got to do the video. Oh no. Where's the button?
Where is the button?
Why are
I have a button right here.
Find the spot.
Oh, like I'll find it.
Drop down menu closed.
I'll find it.
Frauds. Our intro. Scooter's not here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, secret is we're all frauds.
Time to remove that Scooter logo.
Scooter's technically the god because he's the one that's gone on to greener pastures.
Yes.
Oh, dang. He got us again.
Before we start, I have to get a little serious here.
Uh-oh. Let's get the violin. Let's get the violin.
Is there like a song that I can play here? All right. Can you ISO me here? How do you ISO me?
No. Oh no.
No, wrong one.
Hi.
I want to start out the show by apologizing for my behavior last week. Where I was called. My wife's pet. And I just realized how childish and
He has no idea he's being muted.
No clue. Yes. Oh. He's a man of faith. He's a man of faith. Oh, there's a tribe to deep left field by Castellanos.
Did they hear anything of what I said?
Technically, yes.
And the Oscar goes to La La Land.
Honestly, that was better than any apology could have been. Mr. 5 Points, you are forgiven. You'll go to confession next week. Let's go on to the show, Mr. 5.
I was trying to say I'm sorry for cussing so much, okay?
Well, nobody fucking cares.
Well, I guess you can cuss. Put that in the swear jar. Can we not cuss as much? We need to be better.
I'll try not to cuss. I'll try not to cuss.
Okay.
Who's we?
Us.
Well, I'm sorry,
yeah,
Tom.
who's
I'm sorry you're clean cut, buddy. I know you were really uncomfortable last week, but unfortunately,
hey, I said poop face.
We're getting into it. Poop face. I mean, that is the most vulgar term. So, I mean,
can we tone it down this week, Tom? Please.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. That's on me. It's on me.
Uncomfortable. Now, the lead story, which blew up Twitter today, is Emi Udoka, the Celtics coach, was apparently suspended for cheating on his girlfriend with Celtics staffers. And
one of the basketball players?
Yes, with his fellow teammates. It really just kind of opened up the question, like, what's, inappropriate behavior? What's worthy of a suspension? It seems it's not, I don't want to really comment on what he did. I don't have a position there, but you see this variable discipline in all the leagues. But what was funny to me is like Tristan Thompson didn't get suspended for everything that he's done, but who knows? I guess he wasn't sleeping with his teammates.
Yeah, it's probably like
we don't know that.
It's like, is it a team policy? Like, is it like a thing you sign when you become an employee, stating you're not going to have relationships?
Well, yeah, if she was a direct report, I can see that.
And a direct report.
What we need to do here on Clickbait is have a policy where we're not allowed to fraternize with each other.
Come on. 5, you tried to smooze me up like 3 years ago.
That would create.
Why did you give me those cocktails for? Where's your suspension, buddy?
I mean, you were.
It does seem harsh, though. Like it was right. It's like it was a consensual relationship. There was not any sort of.
I'm guessing he didn't tell a team, and it's probably like a non-fraternizing policy. They're not big on shitting where they eat. Plus, it's the whole morality clause. She did cheat on his wife. Speaking of which, why would you cheat on that, dude? Come on.
He's not married.
His fiance's a smoke show.
Yeah, he's unmarried.
But he's engaged, though.
Wasn't
True.
it his wife?
No, Nia Long is his girlfriend, but I believe they have children together. So,
it shows how much I know about the story.
Yeah, you have not been on Twitter today, apparently.
No, I
But
know
I mean,
that
it's not a
happened.
wow. Some big chats coming through here. Big
Ain't it
chats,
Twitter,
boys.
Twitter
Yeah.
clown shows. That's a day ending in 1.
Additionally, we talked about this last night. That's a good point. Robert Sarver is selling the Phoenix Suns, which always cracks me up when they sell these teams that their punishment is selling the franchise for 4 times its value that they bought it at. Boy, they're really.
What did
I'll
he do?
teach him.
What did Sarver do?
He apparently used the N-word like 5 times while quoting other people, which you cannot do. You still can't. You got to still say whatever. You can't just say it out loud. You can't. If it's in a song, you can't sing that line.
That's like an older story, right? Like,
yeah, it came out a couple years ago. They interviewed a couple hundred people, and it came out. It was confirmed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then
they were just trying to get him out.
Yeah, he's hated by the team. He's hated by his staff. He's hated by the city of Phoenix. He's basically hated by everyone. But according to him, he did a lot of good. So that all those bad things outweigh all the good that he did. Well, but again, if it's in a song, you can't say it. Okay, so don't say it.
But if it's in a sports book, I bet you could bet on it. You could bet on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really bad prop bet. I don't want to bet on that one.
You don't want to bet on that one?
You're just like, which coach is going to be taken down next?
Well, nobody would have gotten it last year.
You guys know what the deal is.
John Gruden.
Right? Use code CLICKBAIT when you sign up at DraftKings Sportsbook. Link in the description. And as the season is kicked off, teams are breaking down film, getting ready for their next game. And while those teams are working on their game plan, DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is drawing up a winning play for all of their new customers. New customers, all you got to do is sign up using code CLICKITY-BAITY. Sorry, it's just clickbait. Do not put in clickety-baity. That will not get you the deal.
Where's the overlay?
In fact, that might get you locked out of the app. So don't do it. We've got I don't know what happened. Let me get the other overlay.
Yeah. Stellar show today, boys. We are off to a great start.
It's always like this, dude. If you
watch this.
You muted me during my heartfelt apology for using
your
the
heartfelt. You're only sorry because you got caught, dude.
I know, because my wife's pastor.
Yes, exactly.
And if you want to pastor the time, do it with DraftKings Sportsbook, because they are giving an additional $200 in free bets if your team wins after you bet $5 for new customers to do it.
It's a Hail Mary, and it's always being thrown by Aaron Rodgers. That's not
clear. New customers bet $5 on any team to win their next game, and you get an additional $200 in free bets if that team wins. Download the app. You know how to do that. New customers, code CLICKBAIT. Do it now. Especially
do it
if you like my smooth segues and transitions.
Do it.
Speaking of smooth transitions, and schmegments.
Are we all just hungover?
Kaylee is here.
We're distracted with other stuff.
For Kaylee, it's time to collect. I have the Dallas Cowboys song.
Good.
And it is time to play it now. Apparently, I was made to. I had to do a Dallas Cowboys song, and I didn't follow directions. So here it is.
This is good.
This song is dedicated to Scooter Magruder.
Get the overlay off of there.
Loyal Cowboys fans out there.
I'm gonna hide again.
It's all the same. Only the QBs change. Every play, it seems we're sliding away. Another playoffs where the refs are so cold. They drive down the field just to get overturned. They're the Cowboys. Another season that they try. And Scooter wants them to get more rings than 5. Get more rings than 5. As I scoot these streets, those losses on their backs, they play like cheeks, 'cause they might not make it back. They've lost everywhere, but they're still talking shit to us all. They've seen a million playoff games, and they fucked them all. 'Cause they're the Cowboys. Another season that they try, and at best, they'll go 12-5. They'll go 12-5. They'll go 12-5. Fuck, I hate singing.
My friend,
There
that'll
you go.
prep you for off-Broadway. That was so cringe. My entire back just coiled, and now I have 5 fractures. It was incredible.
How do I get rid of that now? How do you get?
He's
how do you
Like
get
in
it
your
off of there?
memory, alcohol.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry,
Yeah.
Adam.
I'm going to need more than alcohol for that. I'll need straight up chloroform.
Whew.
Where's
Now
one of those?
finally
I need one
know-
of those Men in Black flashers.
Yeah. I finally know how you guys felt when you had to listen to my song.
Yours,
You know,
yours was
singing,
actually okay.
singing
Singing
is not my
is
forte.
terrifying, isn't it, Adam?
Yeah.
Like
It's
if you're not
hard.
a singer and your punishment is to sing, that is hard.
I've done
Some
it a
good-
couple times, but it sucks. But
Yeah. There's some solid lines in there. Some solid lines.
Did I have some bars? Did I have
You-
some bars?
no,
I wouldn't say
dude, the only bars you belong in for that singing is behind a jail cell.
Well, that was a punishment. That
That
everybody
was. Thank you, Kaylee,
for everybody.
punishing us
That was a
all.
punishment.
love it.
Now my ears want to die.
I-
Singing lessons, like there's no lessons. There's singing is something you either can or it's like running. You're either fast or you're not. Okay,
I ain't fast.
and there's no lessons that are gonna make me sing better. All right, let's get into the actual meat.
The
of
program,
show.
which you kids are
Yes.
here for today.
Yeah, it only took us 13 minutes this time.
And-
That's a world record.
That
Can we-
is fraud. What? Or were you gonna say something?
I was just say, from now on, moving forward, I want everyone to refer to this as a sports program.
Okay.
What
Okay,
that's my
YouTube
favorite
says-
program. I love that program. Nobody says program anymore, and I think we should bring it back.
No,
It
it
is a
should be.
program.
It's more a program because all we're doing is massacring sports.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
Mm.
All right. It is God versus fraud. Now, what we're gonna do is go around and name someone you think is a fraud in the NFL, or someone who you think is either a current or emerging god, because
Ooh.
those two rhyme.
Fraud or God? What a plan.
Fraud or God. Brandon, you go first. You select who you think is, after 2 weeks of the Feats ball,
Mhm.
who you think is a fraud or a god.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I mean, the thumbnail already tipped this off for me. Fraud is one Josh McDaniels. He's done nothing in his 2 weeks as Raiders head coach.
Dude, he's done nothing,
Nothing.
since he's been a head coach ever. You know this all too well.
Yes. Let me find, what was his record?
I think it's like 5-13 or like 5-13 in the last
17
18.
in his last 17 in 22 games. 5-17.
Yeah.
Of course, you know,
Not
he
great.
abandoned the Colts. It's really hard to do what his team did and lost to the Cardinals last week. And I know it's a long season, and I think the Raiders are probably going to win this week, and everybody's going to be like, oh, he's not that bad, Perna. You're just a hater. Don't worry. He started 6-0 with the Broncos and then imploded. He is starting from the bottom, and it's going to get even worse. So he's a fraud. A god? It's too easy. It's Amin-Ra, Amin-Ra St.
Good
Brown.
job, Parna. Good
His
job,
name
buddy.
literally translates to God, sun
Yep.
god. But
Yep, God of the Sun in Egypt.
yep, this dude is balling. He's flat out balling. And I saw this week that, oh man, I'm trying to, because he keeps a list of everybody who's been drafted ahead of him. And
Yeah, it was the guy who the Commanders, the wide receiver, De'Ami Brown.
yeah, I was just angry at him and was trying to find him on the sideline and stare him down. And then I saw another story about he saw some player he's playing against crying, and he went up and just laughed at his tears.
I mean, he has the killer instinct.
Yeah. So he's in my gods list.
He was a god on Sunday, man. He totally teabagged. He teabagged the Washington Commanders. Tree, give me a god and give me a fraud.
Oh, I got to go fraud. I got to go Cliff Kingsbury. He should not have won that game. The only reason why he won that game is because Kyler Murray went into God mode and just ran for his absolute life. His game plans are atrocious. If it weren't for talent, he is bad. He loses every single year after week 11. It is just endless collapses. And he got extended because, talent. I don't know. Ain't my problem. But for a god, I am going to go a little off the board here. Dan Campbell, the kneecap biter himself. And the reason why is because I'm seeing significant strides from the Detroit Lions, especially on offense. Their defense has a little work to be done, but they took the Washington Commanders and they shoved them out to the yacht where Dan Snyder is currently rotting on right now. And he's going to have to support all of those refugees, just like Dan Snyder should, because, Dan Snyder's kind of a piece of shit. I don't mind it. But at the same time, I think Campbell's doing good work so far. I mean, he's trending upwards. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Mr. Tom.
Grassi.
I'm going to go for a fraud. I'm going to go with one Zach Taylor, the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals.
I'm going to say
I said this before the playoffs last year. I said I talked about this on GPS, that Zach Taylor reminded me a lot of Mike McCarthy getting bailed out by Aaron Rodgers for a lot of these games. And starting 0-2, I'm saying he's leaning a little bit more towards the fraudy side because I think a lot of it is also coaching. The O-line just does not look better. I know that's not on him, but yeah, the Bengals just don't look ready. They don't look prepped. There's a lot of mistakes being made. So I'm kind of saying Zach Taylor's kind of leaning towards fraud-esque. And then on the other side of that coin, we got to show some love to Mr. Sean McDermott, the head coach of the Bills, because after a deflating loss in the playoffs based off a coin toss, 13 seconds left, the whole 9 yards, he has come out this season and they are drilling teams. I mean, they wrecked the Tennessee Titans on Monday. It wasn't even close. Like, he may have sunk their franchise. So, yeah, I got to give some love to McDermott there.
All right. Two good ones right there. I'm going to hone in on one game in particular. Huge fraud is Joe Woods, the defensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns.
Yes. Yes. I love that one.
Because they came in. So they go up 13 points on the Jets with a minute 55 on the other side of the 2-minute warning. Jets have no timeouts. All they have to do is play prevent. For the rest of the game, let the Jets kill the clock, and the game would have been over. Instead, they give up a 2-play scoring drive, including a 66-yard TD, and then they it wasn't his fault. Special teams gave up the onside kick, but then allow the Jets to run a 10-play drive and jam it down their throat with a minute 30 left, just playing soft zone the whole time. What really was disgusting to me was I looked back at the tape. They were in a nickel or a dime each time, sending 4 rushers when they should have been going cover 0. I mean, not cover 0, like cover 11. Like they should have been dropping everyone. Like they played this mixed bag of defense where they were like, hey, we should rush to quarterback and we should play zone, and neither of them worked. So Joe Woods probably should pack up his stuff. That was unacceptable. The god is Joe Flacco on the other end that was reading his defenses and picking them apart, looking like the
Flacco.
Joe Flacco from
In a
Baltimore.
contract year, Joe Flacco.
Yes.
He was being elite,
yes.
very elite.
Yes, being very elite, and he drove and led the Jets to a win that they did not deserve, should not have had, and they just got it because I guess, it can't be awful all the time, can it? No.
Maybe.
All right. Those are my fraud and God. Brandon, let's cycle through one more time.
Oh, yeah. Man. So many to choose from, but I think I'm going to go for God. One, Jalen Hurts.
Ooh, I do not like that.
Eagles QB, who played very well last year. But all I seemed to hear was how Jalen Hurts couldn't throw the football. It was like Jalen Hurts and Tua, basically the same knocks, except for the Eagles were pretty impressive. And I think he's got close to equal talent in terms of being able to be a threat running the ball, as we saw Lamar Jackson in his MVP season. And I think he's growing and evolving as a passer. And the other guy, we all thought, it's so funny, like Dan Campbell, when he's hired by the Lions, we're like, this dude is crazy. And it's either going to be a genius hire or it's just going to be another horrible Lions hire. Like, we didn't know what to make of Dan Campbell. And I feel like it was the same way with Nick Sirianni going over to the Eagles. So I want to put what's something that's just like a little less than a god?
Demigod.
Demigod. So Hurts is the god, Sirianni, demigod. And I like what the Eagles are doing. And I thought, we'll see if Hurts continues to do it in the passing game, but he looked really good on Monday night. Especially compared to Kirk Cousins on the other side, who was an MVP pick week 1 by, Michael Irvin and one other person on earth. But I like Hurts here. I like Hurts and Sirianni. And then, who's my next fraud?
There are a lot to choose from, man.
I know.
There's one right in your backyard, too.
Hey, you watch it.
Well, I mean, hold on. We're counting down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
almost
3,
snap it.
2,
Snap it.
1.
Stop it.
Oh,
Tell them whether it's
I'm
good or
going
bad.
the Colts
Delay of game.
front office. I'm going the Colts.
Ooh, that's an interesting one.
Going Frank Reich. Going Matt Ryan.
Fair.
Going everybody because they
Valid.
have let me down significantly. Colts have maybe one more week to prove us wrong, but horrible. And I think it stems back to last season. We blamed everything on Carson Wentz, right? He was the scapegoat, and he's gone, and
He wasn't the whole
shit
problem.
looks worse there. So
I said last season they should have really considered firing everyone because look who brought in Carson Wentz, Ballard and Reich.
Yeah.
we'll see.
Reich is probably on the hot seat right now.
I would imagine so.
His seat is getting hot.
The only thing hot in Indianapolis right now.
Because I'm a cowboy. All right. Sorry.
I mean, at this rate, Frank Reich will be lucky to do reverse cowgirl with how badly he's been. Speaking of me, with God and fraud, there are just so many options to choose from. Fraud, I got to go Matt Rule. That is the fish in a barrel, but he is bad. Like this man, I thought he was going to be a good coach. Look what he did in Temple and Baylor. He turned those franchises around, did respectable. What was he doing? I'm just sitting there like, okay, you fire your head coach last year because you didn't run the ball enough, even though Joe Brady didn't do much. I thought he was overrated. I mean, you're getting nothing done on offense. You have ample chances to get rid of the New York Giants, and you still lose. You have a chance to beat Cleveland. Once again, no chance. You have talent. You have Christian McCaffrey. You have Baker Mayfield. You have Robbie Anderson. I mean, your offensive line still has issues, but your defense is still kind of stout. But the fact is, you seem completely unprepared in and out. You're only here because you're still owed $45 million. Otherwise, your ass would have been fired last year. And at the same time, you're looking right at the hole of another wasted season. And David Tepper, he's thrown a lot of money into this franchise. He can't afford that. So, Matt Rule, you're probably going to go back to college or be a middle school gym teacher, as you look like. I mean, put on a windbreaker. He looks like one. But as for a god,
Gaudiness.
Lots of godliness here. A god. I'm going to go Nathaniel Hackett, because his time management is the stuff of sheer ineptitude, and that is a godly trait of itself. He is the gift that keeps on giving, and I love him for it. That is primo material right there. It is about as foolproof as them failing to score in the red zone. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to be behind the 20-yard line and chuck a pass, and that's the only way you're going to score a touchdown. So you know what? That's why I got to go Hackett for God.
They're going Super Bowl. God.
Oh, they're going Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. God, honestly, Lamar Jackson, because I know they lost, but that loss was not on him in any way, shape, or form. Like, he was phenomenal against the Dolphins. I mean,
the defense was out of corners again.
Throwing the ball, running the ball. He literally did it all. I mean, Bateman looked good too. Mark Andrews kind of came up in week 2. So they're good. And then speaking of the Titans, and I know Titans fans will definitely agree with me on this, Todd Downing definitely needs to be fired, the offensive coordinator.
So you're telling me you don't like jet sweeps with your backup tight end on a 3rd and 1?
Let's just continue to run the ball with Derrick Henry, even though we have nobody blocking for Derrick Henry. And then throwing Malik Willis in there too, and it's like, here, buddy, just go die. Yeah, the Titans not looking so hot. Not looking so hot.
Yeah, okay. Titans are a good one.
I mean, they look pretty sus. They're just going to... Do you think Mike Vrabel gets fired if they have a disappointing year?
I don't think he's the one that goes. I think they give him potentially another year because they'll see what they have in Willis too.
Yeah.
But
Willis is too raw. He's not ready.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Downing, I can see him going.
He should have gone last year.
Tomorrow. So.
All right. I guess it's my turn, huh? But before I get into this, I got something to show you guys. We have a new sponsor of the show. This will be quick, I promise. Do you see this back here? You guys see this? What is this?
Yeah.
Ooh, it is a New York Giants helmet. And if you can read that, can y'all even read this? What does this say?
Says
it says Steelers go Super Bowl.
Jones. Daniel Jones.
This was signed by LT Lawrence Taylor. In fact, I have a little certificate that even says that it's verified here. Do you know where I got this? I got this at auctionsofchampions.com. Let's put a little banner up here. The new sponsor of the show.
Yeah. Get out of here, DraftKings.
Yes, auctionofchampions.com, where you can get sports memorabilia, you can get baseball cards, football cards, signed jerseys, helmets like this, and it's all there. And like I said, it's authenticated. So after the show, or even right now, head on over to auctionofchampions.com. Here, I'll even show their website for you real quick. I can't show it. My bad. I messed up.
Sorry, Auction of Champions.
I can't share that screen for some reason. But anyways, go to auctionsofchampions.com, sign up to bid, and make sure that you select that you heard about them through Clickbait Sports. It's in the drop-down menu. So when you make an account, when you sign up to bid, just say you heard about them through Clickbait Sports. Auctionofchampions.com. Look at this. And the boys will be getting their own stuff. I don't know what they're going to get, but I'm very happy to get this.
I hope it's a pony.
Yes.
Oh.
All right. Now, for my fraud, I'm going to go Kirk Cousins on Monday night or
That's
whenever
too
we're-
easy.
Primetime game.
Whoa.
Another terrible outing. They get smoked by the Minnesota Vikings, and it was ugly. It was ugly early. You knew it was going to happen, and Kirk is usually, when the lights are on, he's bad. Now my God is Kirk Cousins when it's a 1 p.m. game on a Sunday against a non-divisional opponent of some kind. So fraud and God, I know all the Vikings fans are triggered now because I just brought up Kirk Cousins and they've got to rush to defend him on this show and say that he is a god because of some obscure stat that they have to point out that doesn't really matter. And I don't even care.
That's a big fact.
That is a big
That's
fraud.
literal
right there from Nick.
fraud.
Literal
Brett
fraud.
Favre is literally fraud.
Yes. Did any of you guys steal 5 million people from the poorest people, or $5 million from the poorest people in America today?
No, but that's one of my goals in the future.
Okay. All right.
If my kid's playing volleyball, I'm gonna do it.
You're the
though.
one going to hell. Okay.
Honestly, dude, I'm not even going to spend it on volleyball. What I'm going to do is create a shit posting fund. And what it's just going to be is me just lying on a stash of money all day. That's a dream.
Yep.
There you go.
Auctionofchampions.com. All right, one more cycle and then we'll go to the next topic. Brandon, fraud or God?
Okay, here before I get into it, let's just have a conversation about somebody who I think people are wondering whether or not this player is a fraud or a god, and that's one Tua Tagovailoa.
Ooh, good one.
This man. The Dolphins game was crazy, and Tua was amazing at the end. Also had receivers that had 40 yards of separation. But that's been anybody's watched a lot of Patrick Mahomes. We know two things. We know he is amazing. We know he's an amazing quarterback. And when the Chiefs lost Tyreek Hill, we're like, he's losing the guy who, when things go bad, he is always open. Like, you can always find Tyreek Hill open somewhere down there. And the question is, like, Mahomes always has the arm to get it to him with Tua. Well, Tua made it happen in crunch time. I think we got to see another game or two where, like, Tua's going to throw for, 350 and 4 touchdowns for people to be really sold on him. But anybody here think Tua is a fraud?
No.
No? See? Okay.
No, I think he's one of the more
He went out
players
and
in the league.
proved that he's not. I think that was like his moment.
Yeah. People still think he just underthrows everybody. No, that's called Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Just that fast.
That touchdown was kind of like an underthrown ball. though. He
But
just threw it
Tyreek
up.
had beaten him by like 10 yards.
Well, that's the thing. He doesn't have the biggest arm. I mean, that's evident, but I think the accuracy he's at least by far a very solid QB.
I think he's good in the system that they have right now. He's a good West Coast offense quarterback. Short mid-range passes, let your receivers do a lot of crossing routes, quick, let the ball be released quick. I think he does well with that.
Yeah. I think he's like a solid quarterback.
Yep.
Okay, so fraud I've got, and I know somebody here is going to actually agree with me, even though you will think he wouldn't. The New York Giants frauds.
Like, yeah, that's true.
I agree.
Honestly, it is. Yeah.
And I think they're going to win this week. But, oh, man. And I like Brian Dable. I just think you don't have I guess I just got to say Dan Jones is the fraud. He's holding you guys back.
I mean, to be honest, Carolina Panthers started 0-3 last year.
Listen, if they started 3-0, by the way, last year.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones is like in the bottom of passer rate. Like, he needs to step up. Like, and we were talking about this last night. He has no signature game where he just went off. Like, and it's been 4 freaking years of him under center. Like, where is the game where Daniel Jones like goes off?
That's the thing with Daniel Jones. Like, he's a Ryan Fitzpatrick type. He's a guy who's going to bounce around from team to team, maybe do a job, but he's not going to be a full-time starter. That's why he's probably going to be a Colt next year.
Tua, he's played for 3 years. He has a game where he went off. You can point and say, hey, what about that one magical game?
Yeah, Burrow has a game. Herbert has a game. Kyler has a game. He just had a game last week.
Mm-hmm. So, don't like to hear it, but it's also like me being told I'm ugly. It's like, okay, I don't like the fact that I'm ugly, and I don't like to hear it, but I go and look in the mirror and it's all confirmed. So
I don't know. I don't think you're ugly, Adam.
oh, thank you. We have a rule. We're not allowed to fraternize amongst each other. That was established at the beginning of the show.
Okay.
What's
so
scissoring?
My god, my official god is going to be
Sick, dude.
1, Doug Peterson, coach of the Jaguars. And look, I'm not even saying he might be an actual god, but compared to the blasphemy he's replacing in Urban Meyer, the Jaguars look like they've got something to build on. I think Trevor Lawrence is playing better. I think their offense is better. They bring in some wide receivers. Turns out that actually helps your young quarterback. We all made fun of him for overpaying Christian Kirk. He's producing every week. They've got some young talent on defense, couple solid edge rushers, and I think the Jags have a very good chance to finish in first place in the AFC South. I know that's not saying anything, but let's give some credit to Doug Peterson.
I mean, to be fair, dude, a wooden plank would do a better job than Urban Meyer.
Urban Meyer.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Literally.
So shout out to
plank.
Doug for being better than a wooden plank.
You could have that blow-up doll that they used in the Browns tailgate. He would have done a better job. He would have been at least stiffer in his resolve.
Tree?
Oh, well, for a fraud, I've got another special one, and it's going to be one very close to my heart, and it hates me to say it because I love this guy, being a play caller at Pitt in 2016, but he is nowhere near ready for the big time. Matt Canada. He is a bad coordinator, dude. His play calls are trash. It is nothing but failed RPOs, predictable runs, telegraphed short passes that are immediately gobbled up. The great challenge for the Steelers is trying to score a touchdown, and the only reason why we're 1-1 is because the defense completely balled out in week 1. Otherwise, this offense has somehow gotten worse with an upgraded quarterback. How does that happen? I'm dead serious. How does that happen? It is predictable, and then we're going to have an absolute shit-off tonight between Joe Woods and his chicken shits off zone or Matt Canada and his watered-down Canadian offense. At this point, I just want to invade Canada and just take their prairies, leave Ontario because it's lost, but I'll just take their resources and I will lead the Steelers to the Super Bowl myself.
Maple.
Oh, by the way, throw the ball to George Pickens. He's wide open 90% of the time. And I do need to speak of a god too, unfortunately, don't I? Yeah, that's a bummer. I know. I got to talk about a god, and the god I am going to choose for this rendition. I am totally not stalling because I don't have any ideas. My god is Jimmy G. Jimmy G has brought back from the brink. Trey Lance busted his ankle. A bunch of people are wondering if he could throw a football. We'll never know probably because unfortunately, the dude has no luck. He's hasn't stayed healthy. I think his upside is still there, but he's going to have to wait another year because Jimmy Jesus ascended on the third game. He came down from the heavens and he gave us quality football for the San Francisco 49ers. All that guy does is win. I remember when Skip Bayless was talking about Tim Tebow. Jimmy G is Tim Tebow on steroids. This dude can actually throw. And I know he's not the guy who's going to lead him to a Super Bowl. But, I'm going to give that guy a little credit. Dealing with a BS situation, a tough situation, couldn't get traded. Now he gets his chance in the sun again to re-audition for teams. Perhaps maybe flip to a starting role next year. And you know what? That's why I'm calling him a god.
I just want to say one thing. Trey Lance pays for strippers. Strippers pay Jimmy G. That's all I got to say. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jimmy G just strips them.
Strippers pay for Jimmy G.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's how handsome he is.
This one's for Scooter. God, Micah Parsons.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That man is on another level. He terrorized the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, that guy's going to get like 25 sacks this year. And that's the one thing Scooter was right about. And I just didn't believe him. He's like, no, he's going to get like 10, 15 sacks. And yeah, he just might. Parsons is just a monster. They hit a home run with him. So I'd probably say that one. And then for fraud, I might have to go Luke Getsy as an offensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears because David Montgomery got over 120 yards against the Packers. And for some reason, they just stopped running the ball. And I mean, they were winning after the first quarter, but they just got away from that game plan really quick. It didn't look good. If Justin Fields only threw the ball 11 times, I don't know if that's like a lack of trust thing.
Fields is the most inaccurate quarterback in the NFL right now.
Well, that's the thing. If you don't want to do that, okay, well then commit to the run a little bit more. But
the question is, if you're trusting the run, why are you going out of shotgun on a 4th and 1 with Justin Fields doing a quarterback sneak? Just do a quarterback sneak.
Great question.
And you have an interior disadvantage on your offensive line compared to the Green Bay Packers.
Great question. It's a great question.
Do a rollout or something.
I shall end this segment with a god is Saquon Barkley. Not only does he have, he's a quad god in terms of his legs. His legs just explode out. They're very muscular. He's leading the league in rushing. He is back, and hopefully he stays healthy for the remainder of the year. He is carrying Daniel Jones on his back because if Saquon didn't exist, this team would be 0-90 million. My fraud is whoever the GM for the Cincinnati Bengals is. I'm not sure if it's Mike Brown.
I think it's still Mike Brown. I think
it's Mike Brown because who thought it was a good idea to sign Lyle Collins? Because Micah Parsons was blowing by him like solicitors on Las Vegas Boulevard. He was just gone the entire time. And Burrow, they knew they had a problem. The Bengals knew they had a problem, and they did nothing about it.
Well, they couldn't
Absolutely
even ship.
Nothing.
They couldn't ship properly against them.
Yeah, well, is it about technique or is it about personnel? Because Joe Burrow is still getting destroyed, and it's not like this was a secret, okay? They somehow got to the Super Bowl with no offensive line, but clearly, and this is going to lead into our next segment, clearly they haven't helped him because the Bengals are 0-2. But before we do that,
you could be 2-0 with DraftKings.
Yes, buddy, absolutely with the DraftKings. And you know something? This is a lot better than Lyle Collins against Micah Parsons. We're not only going to chip in for you, and God bless you. Whoa, easy on the language. Put $1 in the quarter. Not during a sponsor segment, buddy. But we're not DraftKings is going to chip in something special for you. You bet $5 on any team to win before their game kicks off, and you receive an additional $200 in free bets if your team wins. So you know what? For example, if you bet on the Cowboys and say, I'll throw $5 on that. Guess what? You made $200 off that Brett Maher kick through the uprights. And that's it. New customers. That's for new customers. So if you go to DraftKings.com, use the code Clickbait. I said it correctly this time. Promo code Clickbait. $200 in free bets if your team wins with a $5 bet. Same game parlays. You can combine multiple bets at the same time. For example, is there an over-under on how many times, I swear in this episode, is there an over-under on Tom saying
you cannot bet on that
or poopy
on
pants?
DraftKings.
Yeah, unfortunately you can't, but you should. And are we going to take an over-under on how many times 5 points is going to go into a self-pity mode and talk about how ugly it is? I don't know. But at the same time, I will say DraftKings Daily Fantasy is available for those of you that do not have DraftKings available in your state. And it's available anywhere. You can withdraw at any time. Remember, promo code Clickbait, kids. Say no to drugs, but say yes to DraftKings.
That's their official
betting partner official betting partner of the NFL team.
Can we get into a DraftKings boardroom pitch meeting?
How do
got
we
some
do
good
that?
ideas for catchphrases for you guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. DraftKings. Bet with us or we'll kill you.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a little extreme.
Well, that's how you do it. You got to go with the hard sell.
Yeah, you got to be convincing, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Next segment of the show is the 0-2 teams, right? We've got some 0-2 teams. I want to know which ones are just not going to make the playoffs and which ones could possibly make the playoffs. You could argue that none of them will make the playoffs, but which 0-2 teams are finished and which 0-2 teams will make the playoffs?
Are winished.
Are winished. Finished or winished?
So you got to rhyme it, even if you got to make up a word.
I think there's what? 1, 2,
Frauds
3,
are God, finished or winished.
4, 5 teams. So I'll assign each one to somebody. How about that? Let's have
Okay,
fun.
give me the easy one.
Yes. Brandon, since you know this team so well, the Raiders are 0-2. Will they finish or winish? This is
They will win. They are finished. They are finished.
Okay. Why?
Defense still bad. Bring in Chandler Jones, which is funny because I don't think I've heard his name once all season long.
Even
Josh McDaniels, he's not coaching anybody up. Derek Carr, he's a good quarterback, but I think we're learning Carr needs some coaching to continue to be a good quarterback. Needs to remember late in the games, Devontae Adams on the team. That's really when you want to use Devontae Adams is that second half. Who do they play this week? I think they're going to win this week.
No, I don't think
they have the Titans. So 2 0-2 teams are facing each other.
And then the Broncos and the Raiders play week 4. And I am just praying to God my team is not finished there, because whoever loses that game is 100% done for the season.
Yeah.
We're used to being at the bottom of the AFC West with the Raiders. I just don't think the Raiders can do it. Don't like their secondary. Don't like their coach. Carr's all right. Yeah, that's it.
I would say they're the most talented 0-2 team right now, besides maybe the Titans, but they're
I put the Bengals above them.
Coached by Josh McDaniels. Okay. Tree, tell me about. Yeah, you know what, Tree, take the Bengals since you know so much about them.
The Bengals. Do I really know enough about the Bengals? I hope they fail miserably, but I think they bounce back and at least make it competitive. I don't know if they make the playoffs or not. I think they'll winish. I will say winish then, because I have to say the word. But I think their offense has too much talent to struggle like they have the past two games, I should say. Joe Burrow's still a beast. Jamar Chase is still a beast. Joe Mixon can still push off some big runs. Once T. Higgins returns from his concussion, I think they'll be all right. Hayden Hurst learns the offense becomes that safety valve that CJ Uzomah was. I think they'll be all right. I don't think their offensive line is going to be this bad. I'm going to hope it's more growing pains than anything else. But their defense is still really strong, and it's shown the past 2 weeks. So I'm going to say winish with them.
Okay. Tom.
Yes, sir.
What about the Titans?
I mean,
I'm
here's
giving
the
you
issue.
the juiciest one.
The AFC South is such a dumpster fire. And I have to say, and again, it's super early, but we thought like the Colts would win it, and then the Titans would be like in second place, but it's the Jaguars, then it's the Texans who are currently leading that division. The Titans, I don't think they're necessarily done, but because they're in that division. But I mean, they just look mediocre. And I think unless they start having some big revamps on the offensive side of the ball, they're going to be in really big trouble. Like, I don't think that they're sold on Tannehill at all. Obviously, for Monday night, that didn't go well. And as was said before, Malik Wilson's not ready. So they're kind of in this weird limbo, and that might be what this year is. It might be a limbo year where they are kind of just like middle of the road. But again, because they're in that division, middle of the road might be able to win it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I would not be surprised if the team that makes the playoffs from the South is like a losing record team. Like they may be from a couple years ago.
Ooh,
do it, AFC South. Don't let us down.
7-10 division champions. I will take the Panthers at 0-2 to be finished. You just lost to the Giants. You lost to the Browns. Baker looks like Baker, like what are you supposed to do there? You went out and you got another retread quarterback, and you don't have a team around him. Matt Rule is a giant fraud. So they are fraud finished. They're double effed. They're just bent over a stump.
The issue with them too is like Baker keeps on leaving the pocket. Like I think there was some stat I saw that he had like 1.1 second like per throw, but that was misleading because it wasn't that the offensive line was giving it up, is that he was just leaving the pocket and panicking after.
That's the thing with like Baker Mayfield. His biggest thing, especially in Cleveland, he would always roll to the right. That was his biggest tick, and that's why they went after him in year 2. His only move was to roll to the right. And he's doing the same thing in Carolina.
Yeah, they're not great. Like the Panthers, like their saving grace. Sorry, my stupid mic keeps on getting louder. Their saving grace is that defense is young. If they're able to like develop that, because they literally, what was that, like 2 drafts ago, that they were just like all defense. We don't even care about the offensive side of the ball.
Derek Brown.
But like Christian McCaffrey, right? Found himself on the injury report yet again. So that's up in the air. They don't have a franchise quarterback right now. They took an offensive lineman in the draft, which was very smart of them to do, but their offensive line still can get better.
Ime Ekwonu's too raw.
Yeah, so like it's just going to take a while for them to figure it out. But there'll be a team that's going to be looking for a franchise QB, like potentially bottom 5 next year.
Because they're going to win 4 games. All right, Brandon, close out the section with everyone's favorite 28-3 meme team.
Winish!
Atlanta. What?
Winish.
That's a take, sir. That is clickbait.
All right, I want to hear why the Falcons could possibly make the playoffs.
Okay. First of all, they almost broke their curse last week. Almost broke the curse against the Rams.
I wanted them to so badly.
I know, me too.
They almost won week 1, right?
Yeah, they choked it away because they were beating the Saints for 3 quarters, and then Jameis Winston was like, I'm just going to be good now.
Okay. So they choke away a lead. They almost dig themselves out of a hole. They're about to meet in the middle and just start getting some wins. And they're doing all of this without Kyle Pitts doing anything. Drake London got a touchdown. I don't think they're a good team, but I think how many games did they win last year?
I think like 4 or 5.
4?
It wasn't much.
I think they can get more wins this year, and I'm saying winish because I thought they were going to be the worst team in the league before the season started.
Yeah, I think all of us did.
No, I had the Texans.
But we're kind of on that.
I don't think the Texans are going to be the worst either.
Oh no, trust me, they're tanking.
Questions about Mills already.
The Texans.
Mills isn't too bad, but I mean, at the same time,
not good on Sunday against the Broncos. He was
next.
Well, Denver's defense is good.
Denver's defense is good, guys. Just wait till we start scoring touchdowns when we get to the 2-yard line.
Wait till we actually get plays off.
Once again,
wait till your coach gets fired.
Yeah. Once again, all you have to do is don't go above the 20 and then just throw it deep. There,
exactly.
You solve your problem. Anything past before the 20-yard line, you're fair game. You'll score touchdowns.
Yep.
All right. Before we get to the countdown, I just want to quickly ask, which choke do you think was the biggest? The Browns choking away to the Jets, the Ravens choking away to the Dolphins, or the Raiders choking away to the Cardinals? Which was the biggest choke?
It got worse and worse as like the day went on, and I was like, oh, nothing's gonna beat the Jets and Browns, because like the Ravens and Dolphins one was bad, but at least they had a little bit more time. And then you had the Browns choking it within 2 minutes. But man, the Raiders put on an epic show of collapsing. So yeah, I might have to give it to them, because they even had so many opportunities. With the Hunter Renfrow fumbled twice too. Yeah, they were in
overtime.
And then in overtime,
the offense didn't see the field for 45 minutes. No wonder why Kyler did everything against them. For me, I gotta say Browns, Jets. You are up by 2 scores, 13 points. The Jets have no timeouts. 2-minute warning is passed. There was absolutely no excuse why you're going into this soft zone bullshit with Denzel Ward potentially going into a cover 2, Delpit messing us up his assignment and sort of a cover 2, cover 3 hybrid. The one rule You do not let your receiver get past you when you call plays. You'd have been better off going into prevent because you'd have at least have burned more time. Then you botch the onside kick because people miss their blocks. Amari Cooper, it doesn't have enough anticipation to reach up and just grab it because he's more, a full.
Yeah, he let it go right by him.
He's not a hand. No, actually, he was before him, and he just didn't reach up and grab it. The main thing, too, once again, you have these defensive schemes. You go on like a deep middle blitz. You leave pockets of the field wide open. And then you have a Mike linebacker cover a wide receiver on a slant route. What do you expect's going to happen? They treated their defense like it was nothing. It was like those pylons and those Madden mini camp drills you used to do. Yeah. That's what it was. That's what that defense was. It was an humiliating choke. And that's the kind of season that can or kind of game that can derail an entire season.
Yeah. I've seen Joe Flacco throw a touchdown late in the game where the only thing you have to do is not give up the big play.
Yeah. But at least in that situation, Harris was where he's supposed to be. He just blew the coverage. Like, it's different. Yeah. I think it was on coaching, but I'm going to say that the biggest choke was the Ravens, not because of how it happened, not because of the lead that they blew, not because of letting Tua go all over them. It was because I took the Ravens minus 3.5 and the money line, and I was counting that money halfway through the third quarter, thinking about all the baby rings that I was going to buy, the new pair of shoes, and then I would just watch all that money just disappear in less than 5 minutes.
Baby rings?
Yes.
What are baby rings?
It's a reference to Redman. You're not a hip hop fan? Okay. Anyways, yes, I thought that
the hip hop from time to time.
I thought that you knew about that. Anyways, I was very upset because I laid action on that, and I thought I was a genius, and I should have hammered. I was like, I should have bet more money on this game. Look at how smart I am. The Ravens are. I used the code clickbait, and the Ravens are drubbing the Dolphins, and the next thing I know, I was out of all the money.
Congratulations.
Perna, answer this, and we'll do the countdown.
Oh, I well, it looks like I'm the deciding factor here, aren't I?
Yes. Of the biggest choke of the weekend.
I mean, the Ravens giving up 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Oh my God. The Raiders. I've been a little hard on the Raiders all week. I think lose 13 points in 2 minutes. I got to go Browns, Jets.
Yes.
Onside kick too. Like all of it just went wrong.
99.7% chance of winning.
Yeah.
Just wrong. It was wrong. They were all bad. It's like they're all right there. We could go to the rest of the season and not see 3 choke jobs as major as the ones we all saw in one day. So,
all right, let's do the countdown. Call it a day.
Thank God.
1, 2, 3.
2019-17.
Yeah, that's right, baby. We back.
Can I sing this time? No.
5. Yep.
No, shut up.
2019, 16, 15, 13, 12, 4. Urinating trees, mom.
They did not watch that. You didn't even count it correctly.
Every day.
It's like LMNO. All right. Well, I definitely didn't
had a joke nobody else said.
110.92 is what I made today.
118.02.
Yes.
I got some late action come in.
Oh, 75.14.
Oh, someone just got a 75er.
Uh-oh.
And it wasn't me.
Oh.
Brandon?
Is it
Nope.
true?
84.94. 84.94.
Uh-oh.
303.44.
Yes!
Oh! 303 represent here in Denver.
I was due.
Area codes.
Ooh, we got to do some type of punishment related to tonight's game.
No, your punishment is I have to stream the game. Okay, I'm done. Bye.
No, you were planning on doing that. Anyways.
Can we please make it related to the elf? Please. That thing is pure nightmare fuel. It has to be something related to the
Tree
elf.
has to get the elf tattooed on his right butt cheek.
That seems rough for $300.
The $300.
Wait,
Yeah.
hold on. Can you do cosplay of Brownie the elf?
It might take a little bit, but I can do it.
Oh, you can
That
get a
right
Brownie
there.
the elf costume? Is there
Let's
such
find it.
You know what?
Thing?
Even if you piecemeal it.
Let me take a
Brownie?
look.
Yes, Tree as Brownie the elf.
I say
think would
Brownie
be-
Elf sports mascot costume. $470.
Ah, see, that's an L. You can't.
You just piecemeal it. That's it. Just like
Yeah.
build it bit by bit. You know, just
Yeah,
like
maybe can you
Yeah.
just get
go to
maybe just
Michael's or
get
something.
maybe just dress like an elf.
Like a
Get an
jester
elf
hat.
costume and
And
then
you got to say
paint
10
it
nice
brown.
things about the Browns while
10
dressed as
nice
the elf.
things.
You also have to imagine
There we
what
go.
his voice is going to sound like, and it has to be like, oh boy,
Oh,
oh,
30
kids
accusations.
today.
Honestly, I don't know. It kind of seems like it should have an Irish twang. If it's an elf.
Yes.
Oh
yes,
the
I'm
leprechaun
Brownie the
from
elf.
Lucky Charms.
Hey, you're taking all me lucky charms.
All right. So just get an elf costume and paint it brown and orange, and then do 10 nice things in a fake Irish accent.
Yeah. Use spray paint and do it right before the show starts.
So it's all
Oh,
wet.
so I'm
and
gonna get
stinky.
high.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh, I'm Brownie the elf.
Oh, don't be taking me Lucky Charms. Oh, yes.
Whitakers.
The British be
What is
starving
in
me
that
again.
drink, Uncle?
All right, 5. What do you got coming out?
I don't know what I'm doing next.
You
I
release a
just
video
did
today?
Yes, I just had a stadium video, and I might do a Mike McCarthy video. That'll be next.
Perna?
I got a short I did today, and then I might, if I can edit it together tomorrow, drop a Brandon Marshall video on Friday on a new series I'm starting calling Forgotten Beasts.
Like what kind of beast are we talking about?
Yeah.
With no name.
Beast or yeast? That should be our next segment.
No, it's just like players who are really, really good, and I feel like we don't talk about them much anymore. And I've been wanting to do it for a while, and I just shot it today. So I said, let's
Gotcha.
see if I can get it edited.
Tree?
Sports
Well,
ball?
I did Sports Ball Week 2 last night, and I am streaming this absolute shit pile of a game tonight as well. And I'm hoping it will be less shitty than the game I am going to watch. So that'll happen at 7:45 tonight. I would have asked Tom to join me as well, but I would have demonetized him in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm streaming tonight. It was supposed to be the first game I called with Kurt Benkert, but then he got signed by the 49ers. So now I'm just sitting here with my thumb up my ass, having just streamed this crap pile of a game. So,
Well,
Trey, I'll
guess
just
what?
wait for you all night. It's fine.
Yeah. We'll call each other. We'll join.
What's the
cross the
opposite?
streams. We can cross the streams.
What's the opposite of a curse? Like a good omen?
Blessing.
Like,
Blessing.
we got Scooter a gig with Amazon Prime, and Kurt Benkert is now slinging footballs again in the NFL. So it's good to know us. It's good to know us.
Well,
all right.
I mean, except if we're just us, then we're cursed.
All right. Can we?
Thank you. Bye bye now.
All right.
Please
Bye.
kill me.